Hey, Renee, welcome to the Plan to Prosper Small Business Academy. How are you today?
Oh, yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm doing fantastic. And thank you so much for having me here with you.
I'm excited because reading your backstory, I want to talk. First of all, let's introduce who you are and what you do for the world.
Yes, well, I'm Renee Dominguez. I am the founder and CEO of Empowered Leadership. And from the outside looking in, my career in the corporate world was a success. But what people don't know is I was actually a hot mess. See, I came from a background that did not talk about business and goals and how to be a high performing woman. So I was always in survival mode versus thriving mode. And today I'm here to empower women to take back their power, to step into what is available and waiting for them.
So, if a woman is at home listening now, maybe she just accidentally clicked on this thing and they heard one snippet. What I hear is lead her ship. That's what I wanted to hear. Tell me about empowered lead her ship. And it's lead her
Ye-
ship.
Yes.
So tell me how you came up with that concept.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of trial and error, Ulika. And I wanted women to know when they saw that name that it was powerful and that it resonated with them and that they said like I want that, I want to be part of whatever that is because it is so powerful. But I was a female, I am a female still, what am I talking about? But I was in the corporate world that was very male dominated, so I did
Mm,
not know how to be heard, seen, and respected. I did not know how to command my space. I did not
mm.
know how to use my voice, so I lost my power.
And I understand that
And
in accounting is a very male dominated field. And you don't want to be too emotional. You don't want to be
right.
too like I talk with my hands, and it's like you censor yourself. So I understand definitely what that means. So did you feel the liberation start peeking through when you were still in corporate? Like you started busting out of the norm, or when did you see the transformation starting?
Yeah, in the corporate world, it was Renee, you're not enough. Renee, you're too much. Renee, you're working way too much. Renee, you're not working enough. Renee, you're being a good leader. Renee, you're not being a strong leader. Renee, you're taking notes. You're not taking notes. It was like damned if I do, damned if I don't. And I had no power. I'm like, what version of me do I need to be in front of this person? What version of me do I need to be in front of this person? So I lost myself in that process. And then finally came a day, instead of having a mic in my hand, Yulika, I had a pen and I dropped the pen, like dropping the mic, and I said, peace out. I'm out of here. And I didn't know I was going to do that.
So
It was just, I had enough.
so did you know that when you left that job that you were gonna do a business that answered that very so what was that
No.
process?
The process was like, holy bleep. What did you just do? I didn't know I was gonna do that. That was not the plan. No, like I didn't know that was gonna happen. So I had my come to Jesus moment and like, okay, Renee, something more powerful took over my body. It took over my mouth and my words. And I'm like, what do I do with this? My whole identity, Yulika, was corporate Renee. My education, my career path was this identity I created. Without that identity, who am I? I didn't grow up
And
hearing.
we're kinda groomed, and I think companies groom you to their culture, so you don't know unless you sometimes if you move
Mhm,
to another company or something, you're like, "Oh, why are these people
mm-mm.
different?" Because 'Cause you're grown each company has its own culture, and you're kinda groomed, "Oh, if I'm gonna be successful, I have to be like that guy." So I can understand that definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. So tell me how the business came about and how you started helping other women find their voice.
Yeah, I started going to women networking events. And I'm like, I'm just going to share my story because I was keeping it in and I was so frustrated. This was even before I quit. I was just sharing. I didn't have anyone to talk to. My experience is women who work under the same roof don't empower each other when they get to a certain level because they're like, if you grow, you took that spot away from me. So I'm going to bring
Yes.
you down. And that was just my experience. So I had to go and share what I was feeling outside the organization. So I was going to women networking events and I shared my story and women raised their hand and they said, me too. And no one's talking to us. They were lawyers, they were doctors, they were women who had a seat at the table and they're like, who's talking to us? And they're
Mm,
looking at
mm.
me and I'm looking behind me. I'm like, who are they looking at? But they were looking at me like, we need you. But I'm like, I'm corporate Renee, in my head. 3 months go by, I go to another women's networking event. The same thing happened. They raised their hand and they said, me too. No one's talking to us. I lost my identity. I lost my joy for what I do. Decisions are being made out in the golf course that I'm not being invited to. They're being made when they're having dinners with their spouses that I'm not invited to. They're being made at happy hours that I'm not invited to. And yet these are decisions I'm supposed to be making. So women kept saying this. So the universe planted these seeds. So when I quit, I'm like, okay, universe, what do you want me to do? I don't have a job now. I have no plan because I didn't know I was going to do that. And the women told me what I was going to do. It was never my choice. It was women
Wow,
telling
so
me.
they told you what, so they helped you recognize your strength. So were you aware when you were still at the corporate job, were you aware about the coaching
Nope.
space and that
No, I thought,
so you
no, eyeball. Do I need to get a third degree in entrepreneurship? Like, I had no clue, no clue what this meant. People laughed just like you did, and they said, cute, Renee, but no, you don't need a degree. You can have one, but you don't need a degree.
'cause that's what we do. That's what we
Yes,
do. We go get a certificate or a degree. That's
girl,
what
I
we
got
do.
six
I understand
certificates,
totally.
2 degrees, and I still had the mindset I needed more
Cause we're never
because that's what
enough.
we believe.
We never think we're
Mm-mm.
enough. Oh my god. And then we go up against other people who of the male persuasion who aren't even as degreed or credentialed, and they sometimes get
Oh no,
promoted or
they
whatever. So
do
I
get the
understand.
promotions and they get the pay.
Yes. Yes. So tell me about so I want to talk about like early days of coaching
Mhm.
when you didn't really know. Tell me how that was, how did what like tell me
Woo!
about the first
When I
sessions.
look back,
Like did you even know?
yes.
Like
It
when this person calls you, what do you know
well, what
because there might be somebody listening who's at that point who want to help people, but we wanted them to know that it doesn't always start beautiful. So tell me about the
yes.
first couple of coaching sessions.
Well, let's go back a little bit further. I did do exactly what we were just talking about. I went and got a certificate. Like, if I'm not going to get a degree, I'm going to get certified as a business coach because I wanted that validation. Because I was conditioned. That's what you need to have. And that's how I was going to separate myself from the pack of everyone else who puts that label on themselves that they're a coach and they can help you. They're like, oh, yeah, I can help you in business. I'm like, well, what's your background? Oh, customer service. I'm like, girl, please. No. So I really wanted to get that validation that I have backup, that I am a coach. So the beginning, back to your question, the beginning of my coaching was, hey, friends, do you want some coaching support? And, I just started by reaching out to my network, the people who I knew. Sometimes we think like, oh, I need a paid client. I need to get paid X amount of money. And I see this so much and I just laugh. I'm like, you're real cute, but let's bring it down and keep it real. So I did a lot of free coaching for a long time to build up my skills, but also this was really interesting, Yulika. I didn't know what my superpowers were till a few years in,
Mm.
and it takes a minimum of 5 years to really hone your craft because that's just it's mastery comes with 10,000 hours. And it just takes putting in the reps.
So then I guess too during those I guess they were very intimate moments because during coaching, people are really sharing their heart. So did you feel that you were fed as well during those sessions with your
No,
clients?
I felt like I have to fix the problems. I need to know the answers. What if I can't fix it? What
Oh
if I don't
gosh.
know? What if I think I'm a fraud? Like you get all these imposter syndrome thoughts coming in because it takes
Mm.
time to build up the muscles to realize my job is not to give them the answers. My job is to guide them to find the answers that's within them. But I thought,
And to help them organize all the stuff that's going
yeah,
on.
and
That
unpack
is good
it.
to know because so if there was somebody out there who was in your position and they're talking to people doing some kind of level of coaching or mentoring or a friend or whatever, how would you tell them to transition that and structure that into a coaching business? One, I think you got to have the heart for it, and I think you can correct me here. I think you gotta have, like, a jacked up testimony. Like, like, rough stuff has to happen to you to then be able to serve people.
So that's a yes and no. It's kind of a loaded question because I've had people come to me and who want to be a speaker. And they're like, "But I didn't have a
Mhm.
near death experience. So can I not be a speaker?" Because the speakers they
Mm.
hear all had a near death experience. So she felt like, "Am
It's
I
true.
do I not qualify?" Because I didn't have that story. But to be relatable, you do need to have that experience. So I work with women who are high performers
Mm.
in male dominant industries who are struggling to find their identity because I was her. So
Mm,
you want
mm.
to
So
serve
it's
a older version of yourself.
so the identity too, I think about the daytime identity, the corporate Renee. So were you like a chameleon? So at home you were a different Renee?
Amen.
So the
Yes,
trend
I was. There was corporate Renee, very structured, look a certain way, thought a certain way. And then Renee at home, like, got loose, had her bottle of wine, ready to relax and have fun. But she did not get to come out very often because I was always on. Corporate Renee was always on. Corporate Renee was 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So I think too during that transition, the free coaching time is when you were finding your voice
Oh my
and
gosh, it
who
was
you were.
finding my identity because my identity was tied into corporate Renee, the titles, the job, the responsibility, the money, because that's what people see. That's how they viewed success. And now, like, who am I without all that?
So tell me, what are you the most proud of in that transformation from corporate Renee? What do we call this Renee? Does this
This
Renee
is
have a name?
transformational Renee.
Okay, transformational Renee. So what are you the most proud of? And it doesn't have to be like a dollar. Like if you look at one little thing, what when you look at that, it makes you smile, represents your
I
transformation.
responded to the calling.
Wow.
And if things didn't get
Wow.
rock bottom in my career, I would have stayed there.
Mm,
Because we get comfortable
mm.
with the chaos because we learn how to adopt and adapt to the environment. So even though it was physically killing me, it was soul sucking, I knew how to work within it. So
Wonderful. You learned the circus.
yeah, absolutely. So answering the calling and then tapping into finding my superpowers. I literally grew up thinking God missed me when it came to appointing gifts to people. I didn't think I had any gifts. I didn't think I had talents, but I think it took years of honing in that craft, having to go through the crap and going through the hardships for me to develop the muscle strength to identify how other women would feel because it's not you can't just talk about it unless you've gone through it. And you can't just say I
True,
help
true.
high performing women, but I've never been in corporate.
Yes. And I think we also become I think the best coaches are a living
Mhm.
testimony for their client.
Amen.
Now that we we not haven't experienced every experience that they have, but I don't want the perfect person. I want the person who, who's done it and I know that wasn't right, but I kept moving forward. So I see your genuineness and your authenticity. And is that something that you have conversations about with your clients?
Absolutely. We connect on an emotional level as human beings. And just it goes to what you
Mm.
just said. I want to know if I'm going to be vulnerable and have that transformation. I have to be able to be open, but I need to be open with someone who will get it. Otherwise, their words that I'm sharing as vulnerability, and no one that the recipient can't receive it because they haven't experienced it. So having that
Yes.
vulnerability and letting them know, I've been through this and you're not alone. I got through to the other side and I did all the research so you can fast track, so you can claim back your voice, claim back your power, tap into your purpose and what makes you happy, what brings you joy. What is it that you need to do to feel fulfilled in your life? Because I can guarantee you it's not that soul sucking job.
And this is so different than like our mothers and grandmothers' generations because they didn't have as many options
Mm-mm.
as far as education and degrees. And so it sounds kind of loosey goosey to say follow your passion because that wasn't taught to us. They were so proud that we were able to get an education that that was the goal. So if you talk to my mom like I'm following my passion, she'll be like, "What are you talking about, girl?"
Right? My dad, I grew up, it was just like, "Get a job so you can pay your bills so I don't have to be responsible for you." There was no talk about
The metaphor.
college, business, goal setting, purpose. Those were not even in his vocabulary. So when I did go to
And then
school,
two,
he didn't get it. He
I understand. And then think too, we're teaching and coaching a whole generation of folks who are just like us, who we were trained in a kind of rat race curriculum
Yes, yes.
and how we can think differently and then setting an example for the next generation. But
Mm.
these millennials are on it. I think they're ahead of us with the mindset. Even in the corporate setting, they have a different
Oh,
mindset
yeah, they're like,
than
"I
we,
ain't gonna
we
go
do.
in the office every day.
Exactly. Like
I
what?
ain't working weekends."
And it's just and I think that example some of us kind of and I've done the same thing because my kids are millennials, and you kind of like laugh it off, but no, that's showing us the way.
Mhm.
If it takes 24 7 days a week, you don't need that. You need to eat one less cheeseburger and make spaghetti I mean, just so you can have some peace of mind. So I'm enjoying your spirit. I'm so excited. So tell me what you have planned for your clients. Tell us how we contact you, how we work with you, connect with you.
Yeah.
Tell us and what a little bit about what we have in store. What would we expect during our
Ooh!
first session?
Well, there's so many great things that are in store. So thank you so much, Yulika, for asking me that question. So the best way to follow me is on Instagram. I put a lot of great content out there. It's at Empowered Coach. One word at Empowered Coach. And what I have in the pipeline is I have a free training coming up where it's 5 days. It is about creating your breakthroughs one lunch break at a time. They are videos that are on
Bye.
demand or they can be as a podcast. I'm doing it both video and audible. So women are like, when I'm getting ready, when I'm going outside for that walk, while on my way into work or my way home, I can get quick nuggets that are actionable that I can immediately put into action. So it's breakthroughs during your lunch breaks.
Well, that's excellent. We're going to make sure we have that contact information in our show notes. I am very excited. I will have to check that out. I have to clear my lunch hours
Yeah, and
to
they're
join
20
you.
minutes or less. It's easy.
Oh, I got 20
Right, we
minutes. I
all
waste
do.
20
That's why
minutes.
it's create your
I would
breakthroughs one lunch break at a time. And if you put in the work, again, 20-minute training, I tell you exactly what you need to do. There are worksheets to go through. So if you want to go deeper into it to really create that transformation for yourself,
and this is part of the free
yes.
course. Get out of here. Okay. It takes me 30 minutes to fluff my floor every day, so I can listen during
There
that
you
time.
go. And then when you get ready for work and then you go into work, you're like, oh, I got this new thing I can implement, this new way of showing
Exactly.
up.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about self-care. What do you do when it's time for you to take care of yourself, to get your mind right? What do you enjoy? What are your
Yes,
outlets?
I'm going to say first and foremost for your audience, I think the most important thing we can all do is have a morning routine. That sets the tone for our day. If we cannot put ourselves first, we are doing a disjustice to everyone else. We're always saying, "Oh, I
Mm.
want to serve, I want to mentor, I want to lead, I want to help." We can't do that if we can't do that for ourselves first. So I have to stick to that morning routine, which is getting up, saying, my prayers. What am I grateful for? Who do I need to be so I can be available to whoever needs me for the day? And then I get my workout in, and just having that routine like gives me energy. I'm on my A game. I have clarity. I'm always open to like what the universe brings to me because I have that awareness. Who needs me?
And you did not wake up just running. The feet just hitting the
And
ground,
then, or I have
which I've lived those
no, or a
days.
lot of my clients, they're like, the first thing I do is grab my phone and I start scrolling because I don't want to get up because they don't want to face their day.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why the morning routine
Wow.
is so
Wow.
important. So self-care starts with you. The first thing, the first 10 minutes from you when you open your eyes, whatever you do dictates your energy for the day. So if you're going on social media, you're telling your body, your mind, your body, your soul, everyone else is more important than me.
Ooh, that is do you know that's a I don't wanna be like Oprah, but, she's like, "That's an aha moment." So, let's slow oh, wait a minute, I have to process this. So, when I go on social media, I'm going to hold so to be somebody else's
you're
audience, to
you're
hear somebody else's
you're saying
message.
they're more important than I am.
At that oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I have that just rocked my soul a little bit because that is what they're saying. It's like they're on the stage of your life at that moment,
Mhm.
and you're sitting there
Yeah,
watching
you're
them.
making their
Wow.
priorities your priority. So when they're putting out that
Wow.
email, they're putting out those posts early in the morning because they know you're scrolling and looking and you're telling your body, again, your mind, body, and soul, everyone else is more important. So then the whole
So
day,
we have to carve out a time that is off limits to other people's influence and for us. That is the lesson I got from you today,
hence
Renee.
the morning
And I've
routine.
never ever thought about it. Because I scroll in the bed, I'm
No,
sorry.
you don't want to do
But
that
I
no more.
No, 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 no. And so and but because I never heard it put that way. And that when we're not anti-social media, because we just gave out the social media
Yeah.
handles. We are Instagram people, we give out our stuff. But you're saying that there has to be a sacred time in the day where you set the pace and intention for the
Which is
day.
in the
And
morning.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that in the
And
morning.
just test it
So
out and
so
you'll see a difference in your energy and your clarity with your mindset.
so at the end of the day, what is your process? Do you have a evening ritual as
Yes. I mean,
well?
we are all, as women, we are all the CEOs of ourselves. So we need to have that mindset. And when we just say, I'm the CEO of me, you kind of like, ooh, my shoulders go back. I
Of
start making
me.
intentional decisions instead of like, oh, I don't know. Oh, CEO version of me knows. So I do an evening routine. What did I accomplish throughout the day? What do I need to focus on tomorrow?
Mm.
What are my three goals for the tomorrow? And what task do I need to focus on? I'm always being
S
intentional with my time and my energy.
About the next day to set the tone.
Yeah.
So, this is a quiz. Are you a paper planner person or you a digital planner person,
It's
combination?
50-50.
We're
It really is. If it's not on my
50-50.
calendar, it doesn't exist, but the paper planner keeps me on pace.
Exactly. And I like so I'm a Google Calendar
Yes.
person. Like I have one central calendar
It's all
that's
color
everything,
coded.
even for the booking. Yes, and even for booking and everything, the scheduler is all
Yeah.
connected. But I find in the paper planner is where I write the details, the
Mhm.
intentions, the ideas.
Yes.
So I'll flip and you'll see lots of scribbles and whatever. So I feel free in the paper
Yeah.
planner. So I'm thank you for going on that detour with me. You see how my mind works. This is kind of we didn't say we're going to talk about this, but I felt like with your energy, I knew that you would be the person
Yes.
to speak on that. So I'm so excited for you. We're gonna put your information out in the show notes. I'm looking forward to this free course.
Yes.
Uh-oh, give me the dates of the
Yes,
course.
it's going to start, what day am I going to, June 4th. So from June 4th that week, you're going to get each day video and audible versions of it and worksheets. Again, these are easily digestible, quick nuggets to create that transformational change within you.
Okay, so let me because this episode probably won't go out until July, so we will make sure that we'll put a post out earlier, even to get that information out there to our
Awesome. Thank
folks,
you.
especially in the Plan to Prosper Small Business Academy, because we don't miss nothing that's free.com. Okay, we miss nothing that is free.com in the Plan to Prosper Small Business Academy. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to make sure that we get your information out, and you are welcome to come back at any time if you
Woohoo!
have any new stuff jumping
Yes.
off or any foolishness. We even invite you to rant. If you have a business related rant that you want to tell us about, you can come on and do that. That's what we do in the Plan to Prosper Small Business Academy. We're entrepreneurs, but we're a little wacky, a little messy, and but we make money though.
Yes. Well, we need to do it over some wine.
Oh my God, do we need a wine episode?
That's what I'm
And
feeling. I'm feeling that.
And I'm not even really a drinker like that because I act like this just naturally. So that'll be fine. So thank you again, and please come again. And you are officially knighted
Woo!
as an honorary member of the Plan to Prosper Small Business
Yes.
Academy. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
All right, please come again.